Yeah, so School of Humanity is an award-winning global online school where learners from over 40 countries tackle real-world challenges and make positive impact on the world. They acquire human literacies instead of just study for exams and remember everything by heart. So this is it. Um, Maybe Sid, you can continue now. Thank you.
All right, so give me a moment. So I want to welcome everybody here to Gift, and I'm sure that today's gonna be an amazing debate round. Before we begin our debate round, to make it easier for everybody, could you please introduce yourself, talk about some hobbies, and if this is your first time at Gift? Max, do you want to start?
Sure. What was it holidays?
No, I said hobbies.
Oh, sounded like holidays. My name is Max. This is not my first time at Gift. I have been here quite a few times, and I like doing art and playing games.
All right, Ellie, do you want to go next?
Sure. My name is Elena, or for short, Ellie. This is my first time at Gift, actually. And my hobbies are pretty much anything art related, like sculpting, drawing, painting, and that's pretty much it.
Sanad?
Hello, my name is Sanad. I'm 13 years old. This is my first time at Gift, and I'm super excited to be here. My hobbies are playing guitar and making music.
My name is Xaire. I am 12 years old. This is my first time at Gift, and my hobbies would be creating poems and playing board games.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna announce the topic. The topic is going to be the human brain is not able to form emotions or communicate without human contact. So all of you guys know that topic, right? So just so we're clear. All of you guys have cases.
Yes.
Right? Okay. That's good. So the teams, Julie, can you tell me what the teams are? Because I
You have to select the teams because Petcha is a parent on here and I'm a parent, so we're trying not to do that. You're the non-biased person here. You get to pick the teams.
Okay, I'm gonna do some quick eeny, meeny, miny, mo. For who's working with Max.
I love that technique.
Uh, Xaire, did I say your name right?
Yes.
Okay, you're working.
It's Zaire.
Oh, Xaire. Okay. You're working with Max and Ellie and Sanad. You're working together. So
Perfect.
okay.
And they should be able to communicate through the webinar chat with each other if they need to do that at all.
Yeah. On different Zooms, there used to be like windows where you could like individually chat with the person back, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, you can't. Zoom webinar doesn't let you do breakout rooms.
No, not that. Um. So are we against or with?
Oh,
Which one
yeah.
is which?
You have to decide that too, Sid.
All right, so the pro side is gonna be you Max, you're pro. And
Xaire.
the other team you're gonna be con against or rebuting that argument. So I'll give you like I'm hoping you're in communication right now about which case to use. So who wants to be first speaker? Do you guys know which of the
I
teams
can be
wants to
first
speak?
speaker.
All right, on the other team, on Con, Sanad, your first speaker. All right, which team wants to speak first?
Sid, if you allow me to just like clarify some of the rules for the debates before we start and also give them some time to prepare.
Yeah.
So this is the middle school debate club. There is another one at School of Humanity for high school. This one was started by students and for middle school students at School of Humanity and is supported by the parent committee in the face of Julie and I. Today, the two teams are going to speak in order, so they will have a little bit of time to prepare their motions. So first, the first speaker from the positive team, then the first speaker from the negative team, the second speaker from the positive team, then the second speaker from the negative team. They will each have about 4 minutes to speak, followed by about 30 seconds to a minute of our feedback and time for the next speaker to prepare. That is pretty much it. Let
Right.
me know if I am forgetting anything.
So if I'm correct, we're doing this in standard form where it's like we first do our opening, the first speaker does opening, then other first speaker, then second speaker does cross, no, first speaker does cross, second first does cross, and then second speaker does rebuttal, second speaker also does rebuttal, and then first speaker does second rebuttal. I'm just reviewing this with you guys so that you're sure that you know how the format is. Then after rebuttal,
Everyone speaks, sorry, Sid, everyone speaks only once for the 4 minutes. So, for example, the first speaker of the positive team, they can do pre-buttals. And then the second speaker from the positive team can do rebuttals to the first speaker of the positive team. So everyone speaks just once.
what? Could you clarify that?
Don't worry. Maybe we can start in a few minutes, and then the first speaker speaks for 4 minutes. They don't speak anymore. So only once, only 4 minutes.
Oh, so we're just gonna have a opening and then rebuttal, no crossfires?
No crossfires.
All right.
Not this time. Maybe next debate though.
Yeah.
Okay. Julie, could you please help us with timing?
Yeah,
The
how
way
much
you can
time?
doing it is you can kind of like say something against the other thing in your argument, kind of, but like not too much. You can't like directly say like, "Oh, that's not how that works" or something.
How much time you want, Petya?
4 minutes per speaker, please.
All right.
That's possible. And
So
first speaker from the positive team. Are you ready?
Yes. I'd like to make a clarification on what I believe the topic means. The human brain is not able to form emotions or communicate without human contact. I take this as without human contact, there is almost no emotions that you can process. I will begin. According to PubMed, we cannot live or even exist without communication since we are social beings. We are questionably affected by and modulated by communicative processes. In a sense, you could say we are human beings because we communicate our feelings, emotions, thoughts, or reasons. And in the age of being globally and digitally connected, having human contact is even more important than ever. And according to studies by some very big people in the field, it shows that from as far as we can tell, that emotions are directly linked to communication, especially with people in our surroundings. And without it, you can barely even process fear, as you will not know what to fear. Especially when it's removed from our environment after some contact with people, our reality can change and we can start hallucinating. And you'll have a lot of stress. And at that point, impulses take over, and the only feeling and emotion you have is stress. So, because of that, I believe that it would be hard to say that it's possible for people to have emotions without human contact. And some major people in the psychology field have been saying and have done small studies on as they can't do much because it's a little iffy in the ability to, but people have been saying that the human brain's ability to form emotions or communicate is directly related to hearing human contact and being near humans, even if they don't speak per se, because body mannerisms and all that stuff. But things like that are hard to, back up, but we have research, and from what I can find, it is really hard to form any emotion without human contact.
Okay.
That is all.
All right, that was a pretty solid speech. I liked how you kept on I liked how you reiterated the point that because of if I'm right, if because of experiences you actually gain those emotions, right? You won't get those emotions without having an experience. Some feedback for you on the first one, Julie. I'm supposed to give feedback after every round, right? Or after every speech, right? Or just to clarify.
I think
Okay.
that's a yes from Petra.
Okay.
Yes, sure. Go ahead. Just don't give any hints to the next speakers.
Okay, one piece of feedback, like you did your speech really well. I enjoyed you had good modulation. Two things. One, you said major people of the field a couple of times. I think if you gave a specific names or actual citations, that would be better. Because if the in a case if the opponent has all of them citations and then the other person says oh major people in the field, there's going to be like a credibility that's something that
Yeah,
happens.
it was hard to find names
Yeah, yeah, it's
on the
fine.
studies.
Maybe just give a
It was
citation
just because it was just
website.
major corporation behind it. It's like, how do I figure out the names? But
Yeah, yeah, you could have given the website name to what you've where you found
that's
that.
fair. Well, I quoted PubMed, and I
Yeah.
quoted it, part of it. But
um
yeah,
Yeah, that citation was good, and I think at the end you started just saying the same thing over rather than
my
um
brain was not working fast.
yeah, but I thought outside of that it was a really good speech. So that's all my feedback is for you.
All right. So we're ready for the first speaker of the next group.
The first speaker from the negative team.
That would be me. Hello, honorable judges and worthy opponents. My name is Sanad. I am the first speaker of the negative team. So, ladies and gentlemen, I stand in opposition to the motion. The human brain is not able to form emotions or communicate without human contact. First, let me define the motion. By the human brain, we refer to the biological organ responsible for thought, emotion, and communication. Form emotions means the internal experience of feelings such as fear, joy, sadness, or anger. Communicate refers to expressing thoughts or emotions through any method, including speech, gestures, writing, or even symbols. Without human contact means the absence of direct interaction with other humans. First, emotions are biologically innate. Basic emotions such as fear, joy, anger, and sadness are hardwired survival mechanisms. Infants display emotional expressions before extensive social interaction. This proves that emotions originate in the brain itself, not from outer human contact. Second, internal emotional experience does not require others. Individuals in isolation still experience fear, hope, loneliness, and even determination. In fact, loneliness itself is an emotion felt precisely when human contact is absent. This demonstrates that emotional capacity exists independently. My third point is communication can exist without direct human contact. Communication is broader than conversation back and forth. Writing, art, symbols are all forms of self expression, and even self talk, the voice inside your head, is also communication, although it might not be related to known language. The human brain naturally creates ways to express thoughts even without an audience. This is supported by early human development. Neanderthals are believed to have used grunts, gestures, and other movements as primitive language to display what they are feeling. This suggests that communication can arise from basic cognitive functions of the brain. Their simple vocalizations show that communication begins internally and can exist in minimal forms, not requiring complex social structures. Fourth, the brain generates meaning independently. Humans engage in inner self talk and imagination, stimulating conversations even when they're alone. These processes allow communication within the mind itself. And finally, emotion bonds can form without direct human contact. People connect with stories, animals, and imagined characters, even though they are not in a method or an external language. This shows that emotional formation is not limited to human interaction. In conclusion, the human brain naturally produces emotions and is capable of communication independently. Human contact enhances these abilities, granted, but it is not required for them to exist. Thank you.
Right. Let's first go over what I just thought was really good in the speech. So I saw that you had 4 points, right? You had 4 different points, which are like contentions, I guess. So that was good. You had a good beginning, good ending, and you also used good vocabulary, like worthy opponents, honorable judges, and you defined it. So that's good. One thing that I wanted to say is I didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't really hear any exact citations from places. That might be that might be making it more of an opinionated argument rather than one only grounded in fact. But I know you might have said like the studies show, but by showing what those studies are, that really makes it like grounds it into fact, and that's really my only suggestion. The rest of your speech is pretty good. All right, so is the pro rebuttal ready to start?
Yes.
All right.
My name is Xaire Lewis, and I am representing the second speaker of the pro team. So, to first clarify your statements, Sanad, you had mentioned that emotions are an intrinsic quality of the human brain. And that is correct. But the human brain cannot form these intrinsic qualities properly unless it is influenced by your environment. For example, bringing back your infants, the infant cannot learn fear unless they are in an environment where they know what to fear. They cannot learn the joy if something is not brought to them in that environment that brings them joy. Everything is influenced in a human environment. And quoting PubMed Central, emotions play a central role in human experience. Over time, methods for manipulating emotion have become increasingly refined, and techniques for making sense of the underlying neurobiology have become ever more powerful and precise, enabling new insights into the organization of emotions in the brain. I feel like this proves that one does not learn emotions or gain emotions in a societal way without an understanding, which has to be brought through other human contact. That is all I would like to say.
All right. So let's first talk about what I enjoyed. I liked how you were slow and deliberate with your words. That was pretty good, and you kind of like did synonyms for the opponent's words. I think, like you said, instead of innate, some other word. I enjoyed how you did that because that's pretty good. You also directly responded to their case, which that's a really good point of a rebuttal. So you some things that you should know. You kind of half conceded to the point, like, oh yeah, these emotions are innate, right? By saying that, that could be used as a concession against you. So I would just be warned of like, don't say yes, however, just say I don't think so, right? Even though it might be at a small level, by conceding, you're kind of agreeing. But like, I'm just saying, in future debates, you might want to try to like steer clear of saying yes to anything that they say. So, yeah, I hope they don't use that against you in the next rebuttal. But also, I think, yeah, like they didn't give any statistics or citations for how their people have innate fear, and you didn't respond by giving a citation on how they don't. So I guess that kind of cancels each other out. So I'll put a statistic in there. That's all.
Okay, second speaker from the negative team. Are you ready?
Hello, honorable judges, opponents, and teammates. My name is Elena, and I am the second speaker of the negative team on the motion. The human brain is not able to form emotions or communicate without human contact. So, emotions, according to us, are biologically rooted, not socially dependent. And this is actually proved because the brain's ability to generate emotions comes from internal neurobiological systems. Structures like the amygdala and hypothalamus regulate fear, pleasure, stress, and other emotions. People can feel fear, joy, sadness, or anger even when they're alone. It doesn't necessarily require human contact or communication. Emotions can also be triggered by memories, thoughts, physical states, not only social contact. Like the first speaker mentions, infants also show emotions before meaningful social interactions. You don't have full-on debates and conversations with infants, yet they still show emotions and such as anger, sadness, joy. Every young infant, before complex human contact, displays these emotional responses. Crying, distress, contentment, you can see them all the time. Solitary individuals still experience rich emotional lives as well. People in isolation, like explorers, prisoners, monks, cave divers, continue to experience emotions, even if they don't talk to people for a long time, because they still have some form of thought or self communication. Historical cases like Christopher Knight, who lived alone for decades ahead, show individuals still think, feel, and reflect emotionally. Emotional life may change, but it doesn't disappear. Also, another historical example is the early tribes who didn't have a language or didn't have complex human interactions, but still were able to feel emotions. They were able to take care of their children. They were able to feel happiness, sadness, grief. So this just further proves our point that you don't need complex social interactions to still feel emotions. Also, communication doesn't require direct human contact. Communications can occur without face-to-face interactions. Also, internal dialogue is a form of communication. Humans engage in inner speech, a concept studied by Lev Vygotsky. People talk to themselves, plan, reason, and reflect internally, create plans or ideas on their own in their own heads. This shows communication can occur within the brain itself, without external human contact. Finally, artificial and indirect interactions can sustain communication. Modern technology allows communication without physical human presence. People form relationships and express emotions through text, voice, or even AI systems, and this is often considered not real human interactions. This challenges the idea that direct human contact is actually required. Thank you for the attention.
All right. So, some things that Max, do you have a point? Because you just raised your hand.
The one thing I'd like to say about that is the way Ellie phrased it was that you needed consistent human contact, and I don't believe that's what the debate was, but it is a perspective problem, and I see both sides.
All right. That's a good point you brought up, Max. Thank you. So some good things that you did. I noticed that you had several different points. That was pretty good when organizing your speech. You also did give me a moment. You also did reiterate the points that your first speaker said, which I think is really important in a debate because you're getting the point across. However, I didn't really see that much of responding to the opponent's case. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know. but that might be something that like helps. Like I didn't see that really that much. And it's just something like slightly off the topic of the debate. You're just talking about infants. I was actually thinking you would say something about babies having no human contact and still crying when they come out. But I mean, that's a thought that I just said. I liked how you put in citations. That was pretty good. And yeah, outside of that, it was a good thing. Yeah.
Sid, thank you very much for all the feedback you gave to our speakers today. We reserve the right to invite you to judge the debates club from time to time, if you are okay with that. Now we will give you the very hard task of deciding which team wins this debate. And in order to give you some time to make this decision, I would like to say to everyone here that spoke today that you did great. It has been only about 2 months since the first debates club, and all of you have developed so much. You spoke so fluently, you had good arguments, you presented yourselves well, you gestured enough, and yes, I'm very proud of you all. Julie, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to the debaters. How did you feel um, with the feedback from Sid? It's a little different because I'm not a debater. I haven't done this before, and I thought he made some really good points that had never occurred to me, even though we've been debating for a while. So I was kind of wondering, how does it feel to get that kind of input from somebody who has other debate experience? Did it feel comfortable?
It felt pretty comfortable. It was a little weird having the interruption in the middle of the things, but I think it was fine.
From my debates in World Scholars Cup, I actually am used to constructive feedback since both the teams give it to each other, but I really appreciated it actually. I had some really awesome tips.
Yeah, Xaire,
I rather enjoyed it. You kept a good balance of what you liked in our arguments, what we should improve on, and at the same time, you were kind of helping us with what you thought, outsider view of what the argument looked like from both sides.
Thank you. Before I just like finally make my decision, Julie and Beta, do you want to just message me your thoughts on this? Like, I know you guys, as you said in the beginning, might be slightly biased, but you know, I just want as much input as I can have before I like make my decision. To just like, so if I can quickly just send me a message about.
Well, being the mother to one of the debaters, I am going to withdraw from your request and not send you any input because either way it would feel biased to me no matter what I did. So no, Sid, I'm sorry. This is your hard job to do, and I have complete faith in your ability to do it. And none of these kids are gonna get mad or angry. They're gonna take what you have to say to heart and help them learn even more.
All right.
Same
So
here, Sid, but Sanad wanted to say something. If we can let him speak before you announce your decision, that would be awesome, Sanad.
Thank you. I personally liked the experience of having feedback. I agree with Zaire. You had an excellent balance of feedback and helpful criticism. And thank you very much for the experience.
all right. Thank you. I mean, thank you for your like not like feedback on my feedback or something like that. I don't know. Well, it was let me just give a summary of both teams and then I'll just announce it because I don't like to announce it and then give it because then they're like, yeah, whatever. So, on Team Pro, I really like you guys had good points that you made you had good like citations. Although the one thing that I noticed in both of yours is that there was more organization in the others' cases than yours. Although your case is like you brought up a lot of good points, but having that organization would be like pretty good. And for the other case, yeah, as I said, you had organization, but they're slightly lacking in citations, but still, it kind of canceled out between both teams. But yeah, with that, I would have to give the win to Team Con because they had that organization and they kind of like both teams didn't respond to each other. If the pro team responded to the con, that might have been enough to sway my decision. But outside of that, everything just neutralizes out because both teams were amazing. Like it was clear you put a lot of work into what you did, and that there's just slight parts of it that made me. It was a hard decision. So thank you all.
Well done, Sid, for even taking on that decision. That was fantastic. So, for those of you watching this video later, if you have a little experience now on what a middle school debate team can look like, and if you want to reach out to us and learn more about how you can start a debate club in your school, we'd be happy to talk to you. And I'm sure the students would be happy to share with you their experiences and the format that we use and what their experience has been with that. So, Petra, do you want to say anything in closing?
Thank you, everyone. You were fantastic. Thank you, Sid, for being such a wonderful co-host. Thank you, Gift, for hosting this live debate, and everyone else enjoy the mashup.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you all.